For what purpose the gentleman from American Samoa rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 309.
The clerk will report.
As amended, I'm sorry.
The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Resolution 309, resolution expressing the sense of the House of Representatives that North Korea should immediately stop any hostile rhetoric and activity towards the Republic of Korea and engage in mutual dialogue to enhance inter-Korean relations.
Gentleman reserves his balance of time. Gentleman from Florida.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the ranking member, Mr. King from New York, as much time as he may consume.
Gentleman from New York, Mr. King is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the gentleman from Florida for yielding. And at the outset, let me thank Chairman Berman and Ranking Member Ross Layton for the support they've given me on this resolution and for bringing it to the House floor. Also, let me thank my colleague from New York, Mr. Meeks, for being the prime co-sponsor of the bill and for his support in pushing it forward. And, of course, Mr. Fallier-Vega, who does a truly outstanding job as chairman of the subcommittee. I want to thank him as well. Mr. Speaker, when I first introduced this resolution back in March, it was clear then, obviously, that Korea was a major threat to world stability and a major threat to the national security of the United States and, of course, also to its Asian neighbors. Well, since then, the situation has only gotten worse. As Mr. Bilirakis pointed out, it's been step after step after step of aggressive action, provocative action, action defying world opinion, defying resolutions of the United Nations, and absolutely defying agreements that have been made with the six parties over the previous years. Mr. Speaker, President Clinton reached out and tried to engage North Korea. President Bush obviously reached out, tried to engage North Korea, began the six-party talks, made China a part of that process, and yet at every stage when it comes to weaponizing uranium, plutonium, and moving forward, North Korea has refused to respond in good faith. And when they do make a feeble attempt at good faith, it's obviously a ploy, and they renege as soon as any concession is made by the United States or any of our allies. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it is important that we send a message to the North Korean government. And let's be clear about this. When we're talking about the North Korean government, we're really talking about an organized crime family masquerading as a state. I mean, Kim Jong-il defies every standard of decency that is built up in the community of nations. I think it's important to realize that, especially when North Korea is contrasted with the Republic of Korea, which has become a model democracy and is such a strong and staunch ally of the United States. So as we go forward, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important for the President and the Secretary of State to know that Congress will stand behind them if they have to take stronger action, if they have to really lean back and push back against North Korea. I think everything should be on the table. The fact is that we now have a situation where with the going forward with its nuclear program, North Korea really puts its neighbors in jeopardy, and perhaps soon after that, Europe and the United States, with their missile system, with the delivery system, with their nuclear weapons. And I think everything should be on the table, including a very strong missile defense system. And we should have an open debate, put partisanship aside, and stand together as Americans to confront this, what could be a mortal danger to our allies, and also causing the situation in Asia to spiral out of control. I certainly think when Japan sees what North Korea is doing as far as advancing its nuclear program, we could well see Japan considering a nuclear program. We have strong friends such as Taiwan who now will be in danger. And also, it's time for China to realize that they have a major role to play in solving this crisis. The fact is North Korea could not survive if it did not receive its energy and its food supplies from China. And China should realize that this game can only go on for so long, of where they somehow take a certain delight in North Korea antagonizing the United States, and also they feel they can buy off North Korea with the food and energy, and they don't want refugees streaming across their border. But this has now gone beyond the stage where we just are talking, we're sitting down. We're talking about the very security of the United States being endangered here. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge the adoption of this resolution. Yes, we have to continue constructive dialogue, and we have to engage to the extent we can with North Korea, but the fact is that as Mr. Bilirakis said, when the President reached out in good faith, President Clinton, President Bush, and now President Obama have reached out in good faith, the response to them has been an iron fist. It's been missiles, it's been rockets, and it's been weaponizing of nuclear fissile material. So rather than be caught short, rather than us be victims of something which we should anticipate now, let us stand together, and I certainly reach out across the aisle so that all of us, as Republicans and Democrats and as Americans, can stand with the President as he goes forward, and hopefully he will, to stand up to this really blatant aggression, I believe, by North Korea, and sending a message to Kim Jong-il that whether it's him or his son, or no matter who ends up controlling and calling the shots in North Korea, they will be met by concerted action from the United States, and also call on countries such as China to start doing what they should be doing, and to reassure our allies such as Japan and Taiwan that the United States will do all it can to prevent and stop North Korea from becoming a nuclear power. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back to balance my time, and I urge the adoption of the resolution.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 309 as amended? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the Chair, two-thirds being the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The resolution is agreed to, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose?